those songs you sing about the one that got away. I don't know if you've got one of those.
Everybody will get one of those.
Really?
Yes. You didn't get one of those?
I don't know. I
You
think
player, you Penang Free School,
bygones
you
are bygones. Penang Free School
Penang
is a
School
guy's
boys.
school.
Yeah lah, you players.
We have the CGL girls. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Okay, that was when I was in school. Thank you for promoting. See, you said my school name.
$3.
That's you, not me. Okay.
Imagine in 1 hour and a half. Okay.
All right, we're talking about the LGBT issue, and I'm not going to call it a problem because I don't think it is a problem.
Some people say it's a culture, some people say it's a trend, but some do claim it's a medical condition. So let's say hello to the guest for today, Dr. Rosita Sharia. Dr. Rose, our motivator, who will explain to us how do we as parents handle this kind of situation if we ever see that signs in our children.
But really, is it a condition? Is it a natural tendency? Is it a problem? What is it, doctor? Really?
It is a problem when we see that it is a problem.
Okay.
I start with that. Anyway, thank you very much, and happy to be here and to talk about this very heavy topic, very sensitive topic as well. And I would like to actually just mention that this is from my belief, and that this is what we call a trend that has been accepted because more famous people are doing openly doing that. And though we say that private life is private and we shouldn't be discussing it in public and things like that, however, to actually realize this tendency is not bringing positive impact to the whole world, and it has been shown through our ancestors before. When things like this happen, it caused the whole world, the whole generation, the whole society at that particular point to be totally destroyed, wiped out. So what can parents do about this? One thing is that there are many reasons how these tendencies happen. This what you call LGT happen. The thing is, most of them are psychology, because the thing is that if we were to look back, those who goes into that tendency because something happened in their life that they got to be in that situation. For example, fear, or sometimes it's also anger. For example, I came across a girl, a beautiful girl, and she has this tomboyish character, but she's not LG, right? But she has this tomboy character. And when we study what happened to her, is that her father was very abusive to the mother. And being the eldest in the family, a girl, though she was a girl, she's a girl, she take the stand that she wants to protect the mother. And being that, she has to be like a boy.
Okay.
So that's why it is not, I would like to say that don't be too fast to judge why people go into that situation. Don't be so fast in judging, because there are reasons why it happened. The place that we need to be is to have compassion and to understand, to seek and to understand why they are like how they are, and to be kind and loving to them. But we are not saying that it is right what they are doing, how they are actually living their life. However, we do not be harsh towards them, because hatred will not solve anything. Only love will.
When talking about abusive relationships or any abusive incidents that happens, in a way to shape a child into the adult that they are, let's say if, do you think we shouldn't be as gender biased as we were before? Like, back then, boys will wear, baby boys will wear blue, baby girls will wear pink, because if a baby boy were to wear pink,
then they become girls.
They become girls, or
at a
have the
certain
mother.
age, you can't tell them apart. They have short hair.
Yeah, but again, it's an age where we as parents, oh, you boys shouldn't help the mothers at the kitchen. The girls should help the mother at the kitchen. Girls shouldn't go and help the father with preparing the car. Those are
Right.
Gender
But
bias.
that helps them identify with who they are.
Yeah, it does. At the same time, it can also cause confusion and also not a very happy feeling. For example, I was with my granddaughter the other day. I was buying some clothes for her, and she is a very active girl, very active. She was climbing, and then she was trying going into the clothes and everything. And there was one well-meaning lady, the shopkeeper, and she was saying, "Hey girl, why are you so active? Only boys are active. Girls shouldn't be active." So comments like that can actually be detrimental to the person receiving, because if she decides that I want to be active, then to be active I want to be a boy. So what will happen? So that is when we were discussing just now, how parents and how society can help. It's not to label them. For example, like if boys like to cook, don't say that they are pondan or whatsoever, right? They are girls and girlish and also it is their passion to cook, and we have many female cooks who are famous. Chef Wan. Yeah, for example, Jimmy. Right? So
even famous male fashion designers.
Yeah, fashion designers. And in fact, no profession is just for one gender only. So when we understand that, and also fear, when a mother looking at the boy, looking at his son, and his sons like to play, with the cooking utensils, and she has this fear, what will happen to my son, or or a girl like to climb and say what will happen. That fear itself, fear that they will turn to be L or G, what happened is that fear itself will draw into them that reality through the law of attraction. So that is also how parents can avoid not to think negatively, not to help create that situation.
Choose the right words.
Yeah.
So when we see these tendencies in our young children, I mean, tendencies meaning that the girls tend to be more active and the guys tend to be more creative, should we encourage them though to pursue these tendencies?
Yes, of course we should. At the same time, what is also very important is that they have the right principles and they have the right values, and we cannot deny, but the teaching of the religion is very important. For example, since I'm coming from a Muslim perspective, to make them understand and to make them appreciate themselves being a man or being a boy or being a girl, and what is their role in the society, what is their role in this world, to bring it into their understanding, and to get them to also understand that going into the other is not acceptable in their religion, or in the way of their embracing their religion is not acceptable. And the why need to be very strongly communicated, and in a very simple way, not through fear. Because fear in most situations will cause a person to rebel. So it is more towards firm and loving, to get them to embrace it, so that they will want to take into that principle and that values and that beliefs.
Okay. Now let's take a step further. We talk about young children, toddlers, that very vulnerable age where you can start shaping them. But what is your opinion when when they hit puberty, when they hit adolescent? People always say that oh, you boys, you can go out and stay out until 10 o'clock at night because you're a boy, but if you're a girl, you have to come back sharp at so and so time. So shouldn't your opinion, shouldn't we put this in terms of rules the same for boys and girls, or young boys, young girls?
Yeah,
should we tell our teenage son, please come back
at certain time,
at the same time as your sister?
Yes.
You're very polite to your kids. Yeah. Please come back. Like, come back before. Just kidding.
One of them.
You're a great parent, aren't you?
Well, one of the partners need to be firm as well.
Good cop, bad cop.
Now, yes, it should be the same rules, because at that certain age, until they reach where they are more independent, at the age of 18 and above, where they are, then that rules can be slightly more flexible. At the same time, for the girls to stay at home, if we encourage them to stay at home and coming back before 12 or something like that, make sure that they understand and it is something that they want to do. And how is it? Because parenting, when we talk about parenting, it is not about asking and demanding our children to obey us. The era of hear and obey, ask and obey is no more. It is willing cooperation. So willing cooperation needs us to learn how to influence our children to do what we desire them to do, and they think that that is what they want to do. So that it requires more skills in communication.
Sounds like we have to, put up advertising and marketing campaigns to switch
Yes,
our
exactly.
kids.
And it starts right from the baby when they were still babies. To actually put into their belief system, so that the conditioning, these are all that we continuously doing. Yes, at the time when they reach puberty, there will be a slight tug of war between what they believe, what they want, and to allow them to have some freedom, limited or some boundaries, but they are still free to choose what they want within the boundaries. So it is very important. It is skills that we need to acquire.
So
actually.
Nobody's gonna get hurt real bad.
Okay, maybe as the last question, talking about LGBT, what if we as parents, we do have an instinct that, I think my son do have a medical condition. It might be my daughter. It might be hormonal imbalance and so on. What do you think as parents? What should we?
Yeah, they have made research that some men have the brain of a woman and a woman have the brain of a man, and because of that they have, as you say, some hormones and things
more aggressive for the baby.
But to actually allow them to embrace who they are, but not to actually discuss with them so that they will understand that they are like that, does not mean that they have to be another gender. For example, that if they are a girl and they are very tough, they like to dress with trousers, but it does not mean that they have to change their gender. Does not mean that they have to be not what their gender is. Being a woman that is active is nothing wrong. And for us as a society to understand that that is nothing wrong, because we need women who are active, who are
aggressive,
the word aggressive, who is able to actually move in that in the man way, but it is still women and they still appreciate themselves as women. And this is something important. How this happens is that sometimes, because as a girl she does not appreciate herself as a girl, does not like her body, and she tend to be a man. So this is something that we need to also remember, and maybe we have very little time. Just a word that I would like to convey to the parents. One thing that we need to realize as parents, we are to guide and to give guidance to our children. To receive the guidance is not our responsibilities, it's our children's responsibilities. So if you see that your children is doing something that is not what you desire, it does not mean that you are a bad parent. You are a good parent, as long as you try and guide and continually guiding the children. At the same time, need to understand that your children have their own path for them to learn how to be the best they can be.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us. And something we didn't have time to quite touch on, I was going to add that we could maybe give them role models. If your son loves cooking, he can be, role modeling Gordon Ramsay. I mean, there's no tougher chef than Gordon Ramsay. And if your daughter loves to jump around and be active in sports, Dato' Nicole David.
Yes.
So you see, there are examples of individuals who embrace, either side of the divide, but still are who they are.
Okay, so whatever it is, understand the condition, understand the children first. Then you make the decision of how do you handle it.
I know a lot of you have more questions to ask, but we're going to get deeper into this. If you so choose, we do that. Just drop a little comment or two on our Facebook page and we'll get on it.
Okay, so